I pretty much just want to go over my pre-market game plan going into tomorrow, and then I'll do a session recap of today. So as always, I'll keep this quick, clean, and easy. So we can see today was a really good day on the overall cues and the SPY, right? If you go watch my live trading session, I break all that down in real time, and you kind of see that just recovery bounce that we had after we gapped, during the after hours. We filled the gap, reclaimed the previous day low. So this was a really good session today. Let's look here, right? This 654.55, clearly, right? Big hold here, very big hold, right? Even on that downside that we had on last Friday, right? Big hold, big key level here on the SPY. Now let's zoom in here right clearly, as we can see here, right? This 664.55, this is the key level here, right? Resistance up here. We've come into, 2 days in a row now, right? So coming into tomorrow, right? We want to see a break and retest, a hold over this and continuation higher. But overall, I mean, this was solid. I mean, we went from 653.25 all the way up to what? 665. I mean, what a day on the SPY and the Qs, right? Really big recovery. So tomorrow, right, we just want to see price hold above the 664.55 continuation high, right? Like I said yesterday, we are not that far away from all-time highs, right? This thing is still in play to the upside, and we are not looking to short the overall market. I mean, look at the price action today. Just, key level to key level. If you just traded break and retest off of these key levels, I mean, this paid you very well. Just a beautiful trend day, right? Super clean price action on the Qs and the SPY today. So tomorrow, right, we're just looking for a break and hold above the 664 continuing higher, right? Same thing on the Qs. Literally same thing. We see there's resistance up here 2 days in a row, right? Here, wait one sec. Right here, right? The 602.87. This is a key level here, right? We can get right a candle to form right above here tomorrow, right? Get a good break, retest, continuation higher. We are not that far away from all-time highs, and right, we still have all this thin volume to be filled. Right, straight down equals straight up. So today was a really good day on the SPY and the Qs, as you can see. Right, the thing is still intact to the upside. Right, we are not selling off. We are not that far away from all-time highs. So tomorrow the key level here is the 602.87. We can get a candle close above here, break, retest. We are still in play to the upside, targeting all-time highs. Right. Don't forget, we still got all this thin volume that has to be filled, right? All that thin volume. So clearly, sellers are defending the 602. As soon as we get over that, we can definitely see some more upside. Tesla. I mean, really beautiful hold here. Let's break this down. I really recommend going to watch my live trading session. And if you watched, yesterday's uh trade recap, you would see exactly what I was talking about here, right? Let's zoom out here on the daily. We are not looking to short this name, right? I've been saying as long as we are above 410, the upside is still intact here on Tesla, right? Not the best price action. We are consolidating, right? We are just sitting right in this range. This is all we're doing, right? We're just sitting in this range, right? We're in a channel, right, on the daily. We're not doing anything. So, right, this 423.15, this is the key level, right? Besides this sell-off day, which I'm not really, even counting, right? Look at every time we push into, right, this 423.15. Buyers are defending this very heavy, right? Very, 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 very heavy, right? So we're not looking to short this name, right? Even though we are consolidating, we're still intact to the upside. So as long as Tesla is above 410, I have a long bias here, right? You can kind of see a bull flag shaping up here, right? And the A plus long is over this 445, right? We've already seen it before with this candle, right? And even this candle here, right? If we break above this 445, there's nothing in its way to the upside. Clean price action, right? So let's sit on our hands, let our trade come to us. Now, today, right? This was literally the same trade that I took yesterday, right? Same trade, right? Break, retest over this 423.15. We avoid channels and ranges. The only reason I took this trade is because we were playing a thin volume that needed to be filled, right? And our thesis was correct, right? Thesis was correct. We ended up doing that, which is terrible price action at the open. So same thing, coming into today, right? Break, retest, right? We ended up holding this 423.15, right? And moved to the upside. Now, of course, this wasn't on the game plan because we avoid channels. Let's zoom out here on the 1 hour, right? Give me one sec, right? Let's zoom out here on the 1 hour. Like, this is clearly a channel, right? We don't want to be in here, not at all. And then obviously we really don't want to be anywhere in between 445 and 436.30. So our key levels that we're just looking to take a trade off of is really this 410 and this 445. Everything else is noise in between, right? So coming into tomorrow, right? The only thing I'm looking for is a trade off this 445. That's the only thing I'm looking for, right? That is the A plus setup. Everything else is noise. Now you can look for a break and retest above this 436.30, right? Good key level here on the higher time frame. This would be a resistance turn support, and you'll be above the previous day high, right? But you're going long into a channel, right? We avoid channels for a reason, right? That's a low probability environment setup. You don't want to be in there, right? And then let's look at this. We've already broke this down, but I just want to break this down again, right? This is the channel, and every time we get above this 436.30, I mean, what do you see here, right? Let me one sec, right? Sellers are just pushing this thing down, right? We can't hold above this, right? Every time we get up here, we're just pushing this down, right? This is a low probability setup, right? You can clearly see what's the best setup here, right? Turning this channel into a support, break above it, and continuation higher. If we do that, there's nothing in this way to the upside, right? So coming into tomorrow, the same game plan as it was today. We're really just waiting for a break and retest over this 445, right? And the only way we're looking to go short is if we fall under this 410. AMD, right? Nothing, right? Dead smack, middle of the range, right? We're not looking for anything in there, right? Same game plan as it was today. Longs over 227.30, right? A pullback long off this 209.25, which you can clearly see, right? Being respected, right? You can clearly see this is the key level being respected. Give me one sec, right? Clearly, right? So we're looking for this level to hold. The only way I'm going short on AMD, like I said, is if we fall under this weekly support level, term resistance, and this is a $30 plus gap fill to the downside, right? That's the only way I'm looking to short this name. We're still intact to the upside, right? We're still intact to the upside. So for AMD, give me one sec. Game plan going into tomorrow, right? This 227, this is the key level here, right? And then you can clearly see, like, we are in this range, right? We haven't done anything for the past 2 days, right? Look at this. This is consolidation, right? There's nothing in here. right? This is just chop. There's nothing in here. There's no continuation, right? So we're looking for a breakout above this 227, targeting all-time highs. That is a very valid play, right? We're not that far away from all-time highs, right? You can target this unmitigated liquidity if we get that break and look to leave some runners targeting all-time highs, right? Everything else in the middle of 209 and 227 is all noise, right? Let our trades come to us. So tomorrow, key level that we're looking for is a break and retest over this 227.30. That's it. We're not looking to short the same unless we fall under this 203, right? Read the price action here because this can be a valid pullback long entry or a break and retest to the downside, fill in that gap. Now, this on NVIDIA, right? Different kind of game plan. We finally failed under this weekly, right? So a pop and fade off this is my game plan going into tomorrow or even a break and retest. Now, even though that would be into pretty much a channel that's forming up here, right? This is a weekly level. This was the key level that's been holding NVIDIA up, right? Let's zoom in here. So the game plan today was really, right, a break and retest under this. We got that downside coming into market open, but we did, right? Look at this. We did ended up getting that retest. Of course, I was long gone by then, but you did get that break retest and then melt to the downside. That's beautiful, right? Key levels being respected. Now, coming into tomorrow, right? No trade zone, right? If anywhere in here, we're just smack in the middle of the range. We're in between the previous day high and the previous day low. Now, what I love about this 184.50 and this 179.45 is it's a perfect confluence with the previous day high and the previous day low. That is beautiful, right? So, right, this pop and fade off of this is very valid, right? This is a weekly support turn resistance, and we still pretty much need a retest on the dot, pull back into this 184.50, right? So a pop and fade off that is very valid because now we're under this weekly resistance, weekly support turn resistance level on the higher time frame, right? So, like I said, we have now made pretty much, right? I've been saying this has been holding us up, right? Look to our left, right? This has been defended very well. We just finally broke above that. This is now, right? Give me one sec. Our leg lower, right? That's exactly what we've been talking about. So now that we're under this weekly, we can have a short bias now on the video, 100%. So tomorrow, right, I'm very open to both sides on this, right? If we can reclaim this on the video, that is a very big reclaim on that weekly targeting the upside, right? We'll be above a weekly support level, resistance turn support, and above the previous day high. That's a good confluence for me, right? Now, zoom out here. This is a very key level, right? This 179.45, right? We pushed today, twice, buyer step in. You can clearly see this is a key level here, right? If we fell under this, there is nothing in this way. Let's look at this on the daily. Give me one sec. Let's look at this on the daily, right? We fall under this 179.45. Look at this RR trade. Like I said, I'm now short bias on this as long as we are under 184.50 on the video, right? So the two key levels coming into tomorrow is 179.45 and this 184.50, right? You can look for a pop and fade off this or a break and retest over this. Either way, this is a high probability shot, right? If we get that reclaim, buyers are saying we are definitely in control here. So that is something to keep on your close watch, and that's definitely what I'm watching for the video tomorrow, right? Like I said, we're short bias. So if we fall under this 179.45, that is a valid short, right? We're under a support level turn resistance and we're under the previous day low, right? That's a clean shot to the downside. Apple, right? Apple's beautiful. I really recommend, like I said, go watch the live trading session today and you'll see in real time, right, the analysis that we had on Apple during market open today. So Apple is being held up very well, right? You can see, like, we're not looking to short this name just yet. As soon as we fall under 241.30, that changes. But buyers are defending this, right? Like I said, the sell-off was very unfortunate, but it happened, right? That was an unfortunate sell-off, but we are holding up, right? Which is the damage body tells the story. Yesterday, we had a body of the candle close today. Today, this body of the candle close above it again, a little bit, not as much, but we closed green, right? Buyers are still here, holding this thing. And then, right, same breakdown that I did on AMD, right? We're just sitting, right? We're just sitting, right? There's no continuation here, right? Right now we're consolidating. That's expected after a big sell-off or a big rally, right? We're just consolidating. So that being said, a valid trade that I'm still looking for, right? I'm still long bias on this name until we break under, this 241.30, right? This break and retest over this weekly level, right? This is a big level. This is a very big level. Look at how big this RR is. If we can get above this, right? So higher time frame, all-time high still in play. Looking for that. Let's zoom in here on the daily. I'm sorry, on the intraday, right? We ended up getting that later into the session, right? Look at that V-shaped recovery. We ended up holding this 4-hour support. We bounced all the way, right? We got a break and retest over the 247.30, and we did, defend this even going into market close, right? We had a candle closure of the day above our 247.30. So tomorrow, I want to see, right, a little rally, a retest of this 247.30, or a gap up above this level, right? We can gap up above, right? Something like this, the body of the candle forming for the day there, and look for that, right? A dip and rip. That is a very valid shot. So that is something that I'm looking for on Apple. Like I said, I'm not looking to short this name. The higher time frame. Let's zoom out here one more time. This is still in play to the upside, right? This is still in play to the upside. Short bias, of course, this is a valid short, right? We are now making lower lows in the higher time frame, right? But we are flirting with this weekly 247.30. So if we can hold this level, we can definitely see, right, this thin volume get filled, right? Let's not forget, this is a lot of thin volume over here that has to get filled, right? So as soon as we can get, hold this 247.30 and break above this little range that we're forming, right, we can see a clear shot above. So I do like that buyers are in control and they are holding Apple up for sure. Lastly, Palantir, right? Zoom in here. Like I said, I'm hands off this name, right? Beautiful break and retest over 177.05. I've been saying, right, if you enter at the bottom of this range, this is a high probability setup because on the overall time frame, we are bullish to the upside, even though we are consolidating, right? Look at here, right? So for me personally, like I said, I am hands off this name until we break under 169 or above 188. Like I said yesterday, just be cautious trading this name. Here's a better visual, right? We had our consolidation, next leg higher. We had our consolidation. Now we're just waiting for our next leg higher or our next leg lower, right? So waiting for a break to either side. But for me personally, not touching the name unless we fall under 169 or break and retest over 188, targeting all-time highs and looking for continuation to the upside.